Hello everybody, it's TheAmazeman from Roblox. This video is going to be a Roblox game feature tutorial. This time, how to implement a bit of random damage for swords. This feature is seen in Industrial Gladiators. In this tutorial, we'll be going over sword damage variables, using a number value to easily change damage variables, the sword hit function, the attack subfunction, the lunge subfunction, and using math.random to generate a random number. First step is to go to the game you would like to add this feature to. I am in Industrial Gladiators right now. I'm going over to the sword in the starter pack, and this will show you the setup I have for the sword. This script is the default sword Roblox made, edited a bit to include features of Industrial Gladiators. Let's check out some variables in sword script. We have tool equals script.parent, and we have damager equals tool.damager. If we go over to the Explorer, we can see that sword script.parent, this is tool, tool.damager, this is damager. And the value is 6, which means the starting value, or the default damage done, is 6. However, the default damage being 6 doesn't always mean that the damage done to the player is going to be the default damage. Check out these variables. Damage equals damager.value, and then the same thing for this. That means that all of these damages start out being 6. However, when you equip the weapon, it checks for your level and makes the damager value different depending on your level. It's not much of an increase because I can't make it too unfair for newcomers. So to make the game more fair to everyone, I made a feature where the sword does a random damage depending on if you do a slash attack or a lunge attack. Before I go over how to make a random damage for slash attack versus a lunge attack, I have to go over the basic functions of a sword. This is the hit function. It happens every time you hit something that's not you. And right here, it checks if it's your teammate or not, so you can't team kill. Otherwise, it makes the other player take damage. And that damage is based off of the variable called earlier in the script. This damage variable right here changes. And here's how. This is the attack function. It happens every time you do an attack that's not a lunge. So either you do an attack or a lunge. And how you do a lunge is you have to click the mouse twice within 0.2 seconds. So it's like, and then you lunge. If you don't hit it within 0.2 seconds, you just do an attack. These are the attack and lunge functions all in one screen so you can see what's going on. This is the onActivated function. It runs every time you click your mouse. And this is what I mean by it makes you do a lunge attack if you click twice within 0.2 seconds. Otherwise, you do an attack. And now you can make even more attacks like a super lunge if you click twice within 0.1, but I kept it simple here. This is the onEquipped function, and depending on your level, it changes your damage, very slightly though. I didn't want to make this too unfair for newcomers against level 30s, way down here, who do a whole 1 damage more automatically. However, now here's the fun part. We get to go over the math.random in the lunge and the attack functions. First, we'll start with the attack function. /random equals math.random 10 through 25. This means that /random will be a number between 10 and 25. It doesn't count decimals, so it won't be 10.1. It will be 10, 11, 12, 13, all the way through 25. So then, /damage equals damage. So let's say this person who's doing the attack function is level 6. It will be 6 times, let's say this random number was 14, so it will do 6 times 14 divided by 10, and that is, so damage equals 8.4. Then, this would be the new damage. It wouldn't be 6, it would be 8.4. Now let's say this guy gets really lucky. So he's level 1, he still has 6 damage, but he gets 25 as his random number. That means it would be 6 times 25 divided by 10. That's a whole 15 damage. Now let's say that the guy also attacking him with the attack function is level 30. he gets 7 damage, but he only gets a multiplier of 10. So 7 times 10 divided by 10 is just 7. So he does 7 damage, while the level 1 does 15. Now those are the extremes, the total extremes. It's probably not going to play out like that most times. Most of the time, this value won't be to the extremes, as there are more numbers in between than not in between, as in the extremes. Now let's check out the lunge function. Lunging is harder to do than attack because you have to click twice within 0.2 seconds. So Lunge Random is a number between 15 and 35. It uses the math.random to get a random number in between there. So lunge damage equals, let's pretend this guy's level 1 again, so 6. And let's say he gets a value of 30. So 6 times 30 divided by 10, so 6 times 3 is 18. And he would do 18 damage. Now let's pretend that the guy who he's fighting is level 30. He will do 7 damage, and let's say they get the highest amount. This is the highest amount of damage you can do in the game. 3.5 times 7. It's 24.5 damage in one hit. And you can do multiple hits within a second. So this is pretty boss. Now let's check out the extreme for a level 1. It would be 6 times that. So 6 times 3.5, it's only 21. So, these are the extremes. They're not always going to happen. But this is what it's like for a random number value to influence the damage that swords can do. Thanks for watching how to implement a bit of random damage for swords. I hope you can use this knowledge, or the knowledge of math.random, to make even cooler things with your increased scripting knowledge. This has been TheAmazeman with a Roblox game feature tutorial. See you next time.